A very big welcome to you, my dear Pisces. The Sun is now in Taurus. And yes, Taurus is nothing, the no-thingness. And so this master is looking at this little creature, and he's wearing a black coat, and you can see that the 19 turns into a 10, the 10 and the 5 is the 15. Do not get attached to anything. See every creature that you see in wonder, and see that you see everything and no thing, right? And so Taurus is the one that brings us forward into establishing the physicalness, right? The self-worth. And so that's what's coming through Sun in Taurus. The Sun giving the light to the Moon, which is in your sign, and you have you here as the Moon, right? That's your card. And so remember that when the Moon is in your sign, it's like that's when you feel the Moon for you. Otherwise, you feel the Moon stationing in another sign and you feel the energy of the other people. And so observe always that, right? Because the Moon are our feelings and our subconscious. And so when the Moon is in your sign in the Moon, then the Moon is really bringing you deep down into what is working and what is not. We're going to look at Neptune. Neptune has moved into Aries. And Aries is the beginning of the Sun year. And so here we have the new vision that we're going to look at through Neptune that is now saying, well, we're not dreaming about it anymore. We're taking action. Then we're going to look at your court card. And in your court card, we see the trust. Is your birthday between February 8th and March 11, then is he your court card, right? You are, as a Pisces, as a dreamer, you are connected with the 12th house of spirituality and art. Back to the last reading where we had Aries Sun giving Pisces Moon the light. We also had Neptune moved into Aries, and Aries is a different energy than what you are. Aries is fire, is the beginning of the Sun year, right? And Neptune is going to stay 14 years in Aries, and that's going to affect you. Then we had Mercury in Aries retrograde, Venus in Pisces retrograde. So Venus in Pisces was giving you the information that you need to listen to your inner Empress. Know your self-worth and act like it. So we always look if there is a card coming back, and there isn't. So we can begin the reading. There we go. So we begin with your court card, right? That's what you are on a physical level. And the trust brings you the existence. And that's Mercury. And Mercury in Aries retrograde is letting you know that when you trust, you are like this shooting star sitting on this lotus leaf and seeing existence happening here for you. Now what's really interesting, I also do German readings and the same card came up. And so at first I was like, what's going on? I shuffled everything. So it's interesting that this card also came. So trust, right? So the 12 and the 1 is the 13. The 13 is the transformation. And in that transformation, you are going to realize you're coming into the 4, and the 4 is exactly Aries, right? And that's where Neptune is. Neptune is in Aries. So it's somehow talking to you. Now I want to see what is bringing you Mercury. It's bringing you the standstill, the number 52. Stand still, sit here, meditate. And we see her from the back, and now we see her from the front. Or also from the back, right? We don't know, we don't see. But the 52 turns into a 7. So the 4 and the 7 is the 11. And interesting enough, the card was different in the German reading, but it was also a 7. And so the 11 also came up for the German. So the 11 is saying the 11 is an important number, right? The 11 is saying, well, observe who you can be, who you can become, because now the next card from the Mother Piece Tarot, the 9 of Wands, also came up in the German reading. And so I am watching here a big message coming through, right? Because the other deck, the English deck, the person was sitting up on the mountain, but it was also a 7. And so here we have the 1, the 7, and the 9, and we had exactly the same in the German reading. And so I'm just mentioning it because for me it's significant. It's saying, well, yes, you are trusting that everything is coming in the way. The more you meditate, the more you are going to see that you can take a step forward, because this is the constellation Moon in Sagittarius. So there's a Sagittarius that is going to give you the action, but you need to be in your center, because the 1 and the 9 is the 10. The 10 and the 7, that's the 17. That's Aquarius. And Aquarius is the star, and the star is here that you're watching. And you are a star, you're flying, you're trusting. So you see, right, the 11 and the 9 is the 9-11 or the 11-9. So observe how that makes you feel. But this is so powerful, right? This message is so similar to what I already did in the German reading. And so understand, right? But also the 7 and the 1 is the 8. The 8 and the 9 is the 17. The 8 is left, right? So you see something magic is really happening here. Start meditating, start noticing, because they're all sitting in meditation. You see that? Here we see her from the front. And here you are, right? You are trusting. You're trusting what comes up in the meditation, and you are learning to be strong. What is Neptune bringing? It's bringing you the artist. And to be an artist is to be someone that connects to the light attribute of the artist, because here it's saying expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And you are aiming at that. You see that? You are saying, yes, this is where I want to aim, but where I want to aim, because usually we're focused through the Hangman on the shadow side, and the shadow side is using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. So we don't want that. What is your deck bringing? The totality, the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. And now this is, again, a card that came up in the German reading. So there are already 1, 2, 3 cards that are the same. And so for me, this is like, wow. So the 9 wands and the 5 wands, that's 14 wands, and that's Sagittarius, right? So here we have Saturn in Leo, and so here we have Sagittarius, and we have 14 wands, that's Temperance, that's Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is here. So trust what you have here, because you see how she's trusting this person is going to catch her. She's trusting that this person is only going to let go when he grabbed her. And it's really this, right? It's like, yes, trust the jump that you're taking. The 3 and the 5 is the 8, and the 8 is the strength that you gain to be an artist, to envision yourself being strong in what you're doing, and really let yourself fall into knowing that sometimes we have to test ourselves. Am I really an artist? Am I really able to live from it? And she's looking at it and she's like, yes, you are. You really are. And so this is a beautiful sign. Also, when you look at it, right, in here is a square, there's a triangle, there's a circle, there is a square, right? There's not a circle, there's little circles here, but there's no triangle. So just watch, right, that everything is letting you know, yes, the artist is calling. Then we're going to look at the moon, and the moon is bringing you the lay of the land, the ancestral wisdom. And we have the 34, that's the Empress and the Emperor, and that's a 7, so you have a 7-7 portal. So when you meditate in the standstill, you're also going to see him standing up here and knowing that he is doing something that is important. And in there you see that lay of the land, the ancestral wisdom is teaching you to trust, right? Because the 9 and the 7 is the 16, letting go of things that don't work. So I want to know what is coming from your deck, because the moon is in your sign and you got the conditioning, you got Capricorn. So Capricorn here is the lion with the sheeps, right? And so the 15 turns into a 6. The 6 and the 7 is the 13. Again, a transformation. You're going to transform. You're going to see that certain conditionings are falling away. What is Capricorn bringing you? Well, we have Scorpio. And Scorpio, look at this, is bringing you really a transformation. And this is what the 13 is. So you have a 13-13 or a 4-4, and we had the 13 at the beginning with the existence and you as the trust, right? And you see now that the 4 is here, and another 4 and another 4, 3 times the 4. So watch, observe, and see that you are learning something, because the 6 and the 13, the 4 and the 6 is a 10, right? And here, the 9 and the 7, the 16 is the 7. The 7 is left. And the 7 and the 10 is the 17. That's again the star. That's Aquarius. Now, of course, I want to see what is actually here Scorpio saying. Scorpio is bringing you the Tower, the 16. So things are leaving. Sometimes things gotta go, things transforming, particularly here, maybe with the Capricorn, particularly here with the conditionings that you have. Let them go. Let it go, because the Tower is here. And you see the Tower is like, wow, there is something that is shifting tremendously, because we're getting the snake, and the snake is the 7th earth animal. And look what's coming. When this is falling apart, you are getting the snake and you getting the flower of life. So trust, right? What you have, the 10 and the 7, the 17, that's the 8 and the 7, the 15. So through all the transformation, you see Capricorn again from a different perspective. And so here you are, learning and witnessing a big transformation, and in that transformation at the end, the lay of the land is here, the 7, right? And here this is also the 7. And so I mean, you cannot make this up. This is a major arcana, major arcana, major arcana, and then comes here the snake. That's like something is talking so powerfully to you that you are realizing that this is the ancestor deep within you learning to accept this transformation. Then comes the sun, and the sun brings you the rock. And in the rock we get the 20, and the 19 is the 39. The 39 is the 12. The 12 brings you the new vision. Have that new vision of yourself. Here, the 20 is Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius. We had the 17 coming up a few times, so that's the star. And there are many stars, and you see one star shooting and coming down. And that's what you are. You can be a star, you can fly, you can be whatever you want to be, right? And so you see here in the 12, the 3 is left, and that's what we need. The 3 is the Empress. What is coming from Taurus? You get the King of Wands, and that's a Leo. Now you had here the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. So Leo is here, and he's literally looking at this tree, and he's saying, well, what am I going to do with you, you little thing? You're here growing on this rock. The 20 and the 5 is the 25. And that's the opposite of the 52. A 7 again appears, and a 7 appeared here, and a 7 appeared here through the 16, the Tower, and the 7 animal of the earth sign, the snake. And so you understand something is clearly bringing you to the action, because Neptune is in Aries. We had the 4 a few times, and so you understand this is crazy, right? And so the 7 plus the 10 is again the 17. The 8 is left. So in the 8, understand that you are learning to really overcome simply anything, and that you are learning to stand still, because here the 52 and the 1 was also then an 8, and you are understanding more and more life is bringing you take action, because Neptune is in Aries. So it doesn't matter if it's Leo that's bringing you the wand of action, the wand of I take action, and you see that this little tree has also a wand, and in that wand you stand the next 20 years strong, and you know what to do and how to do it, and put that wand into the ground and see that the 5 and the 20 is also a 7, right? And so you see that the message is very strong. It's really clear that you can overcome many things, and that you are here to learn through the 14. Then the 5 is left, right? And the 5 is trusting the 5 senses that are testing you, trusting that everything is testing us, right? And here we have the 5 in the 15, right? In the conditioning. And you understand that the 5 senses are until here, and then we go into the 6th sense, and in there we know how important it is to trust that when something is ending, that it's really ending, but new life is emerging out of it. And that's what the cards want to tell you, because in there you see the possibility to just simply witness the existence and see the shooting star that is simply here for you. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Gemini. That's when we learn about the communication. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.